All right, hello everyone. Today what I'm going to be doing is introducing to you your renewable energies history presentation that you will be giving at the end of the week. In this short presentation, I'm going to explain to you just what I'm looking for, why I want you to do this presentation, and then also break down the different components I want to make sure you include in your presentation. Okay, first of all, why are we going to do this? I want you all to get a greater understanding of the scale and time that are associated with each one of your energy sources. Now, what I mean by scale and time is, for scale, how prevalent is it? How many people have used it? How long did it take to get to that point? Just basically get an idea of how much usage that energy source gets. And then the time aspect is at what points in our history did the scale change. Also, I want you to be able to establish diversity in the sense of I want you to get a greater understanding of how many different energy sources are used to power everything that we have in our world, and how has that changed over history. And then lastly, I want you to be able to develop tools for the country portfolio that we're going to take a look at later. Essentially what that's going to be is we're going to take a look at how each country gets the energy that they need to power the homes, the businesses, all the things they need energy to power. All right, the essentials. Essentially, this presentation is going to include three main components. The first part is the informative speech. So you are going to be giving an informative speech about your energy source. Along with that informative speech, you are going to produce some kind of visual aid, be that an elaborate poster, a Prezi, some kind of Google site, a PowerPoint, whatever you deem to be the most effective, you can use that as your visual aid. And then lastly, you're going to create a real-world example or activity that helps your classmates better understand just how your energy source functions as an energy source. And we'll get into that in a little bit. All right, now to the contents. What is going to be included in your presentation? First of all, I want you to talk about the inception of your energy source. And what I mean by inception is I want you to talk about three things. Who discovered or invented your energy source? When did that discovery or invention take place? And what method was used to discover it? Now, your energy source might be completely discovered by accident. Okay, so you can say, well, so and so or this group of people accidentally realized that you could light coal on fire to produce energy, or whatever the case may be. So I want you to explain how that energy source became used. Then I want you to focus on the history. Once the energy source was created or was discovered, where did it go from there? Was it only used by a few people? Did everyone jump on the bandwagon and think this was the next big thing? What happened after the discovery? Okay, how has it changed since the discovery? How has it changed? Do we use it more? Do we use it less? Is it more expensive? Is it less expensive? Do we produce it better? How has it changed in production and the way we look at it? All those different things. And then lastly, I want you to be able to give us a timeline of, historically speaking, how those things have changed over time. Then I want you to focus on the usage. Who has used it over time? How was it used? And this is where we get into the scale part of the presentation. How prevalent was that usage? By prevalent, what I'm asking is how does its usage compare to other energy sources? Was it the most used? Well, then it's very prevalent. Was it not used very much? Then it was not very prevalent. So in terms of a historical standpoint, how prevalent was your energy source, or has your energy source been? Okay, then I want you to shift and focus on the present day. What percentage of our energy today comes from your energy source? What types of energy are used, are powered, or what types of power are powered by your energy source? Um, I want you to break it down. In the United States, what does that look like? Globally, what percentage of our energy comes from your energy source? And then lastly, what economic impact does your energy source have? Does your energy source keep energy prices high? Does it contribute? Are there a lot of businesses that benefit from producing your energy? Does it help draw costs to be lower for consumers? All those types of things. Lastly, after you've looked at all of your information, I want you to formulate a prediction. Just based on the history and based on everything you know, what does the future hold for this energy source? Is it going to become more prevalent? Is it going to become less prevalent? Are we going to phase it out completely? Is it going to be used but be very expensive to produce at a mass level? Whatever you believe the future holds, that's what your prediction is going to be. After your speech, then, what I want you to do is I want you to provide us with some kind of real-world application. What I mean by that is it's going to be some kind of visual or some kind of activity that the class as a whole, or at least a certain number of them, can participate in to help us gain a better understanding of what that energy source looks like or how it functions. Okay, so let's take a look at that. Here are your energy sources. So we got coal, electricity, ethanol, geothermal power, hydropower, municipal solid waste, natural gas, biomass, wood, wind, solar thermal, oil, and nuclear power. So before you begin, you're all going to be assigned one of these topics. So what I want to do now, because last year it seemed that the most difficult area we had was with the real world application. So what I have here is a video of an example that might serve as a real world example. So this is an example of how nuclear power functions. So this person has put together an experiment using ping pong balls and mouse traps to show how a nuclear reaction that creates energy takes place. Now, this looks pretty elaborate. I think this would be something that would be beneficial to do for your final project. As far as, yeah, let's turn this volume on. As far as um, your real world application for this week, I think you'd want to do something on a smaller scale. Actually, Abby Botts last year did an example similar to this, only it got the class involved. And what she did is we all had two pieces of crumpled up paper in our hands, and everybody stood back to back in the classroom. She started by throwing one piece of paper, and what happened was is we were instructed as a class when we were hit by a piece of paper, we were to throw our pieces of paper. Okay? And then what happened is at the end, most of us had thrown our pieces of paper, a few of us had not, and then Abby could give an explanation of, that first piece of paper, what does that represent as far as nuclear power is concerned? All of the pieces of paper, what does that represent? The people who didn't throw their paper, what does that represent? And it helped us really get a better understanding of what that looks like. All right. All right, so that's all I have for you as far as the introduction to this presentation. So you're going to be spending the next 3 days working on this, and we'll present this later this week. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask myself, Mr. Volk, and also your sophomores, because they have gone through this activity already, and they might have some pointers that can help you out, especially with that real-world activity. So for now, have fun, get to work, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with on Friday.